Life exists all around the lands between. From the deep, dark, bloody shores of the Mohgwyn dynasty to the golden trees of the Atlas Plateau, life endures and continues to live eons after catastrophic events that led to these predicaments. And although you most likely have seen this wildlife and greenery, there exists a secret tucked in tightly into the biology of these life and greenery. And we will be getting into that in this video, don't you worry. And just like the greenery and wildlife, within the biology of this channel, it says 93.8% of you are not subscribed. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe right now, as you haven't watched the video, don't know if you like the channel, and don't know if you'll like the person I am, and whether you want to watch more. But if you do end up enjoying the video, please consider leaving a subscribe and a like, as it truly benefits the channel, and it tells me that you are enjoying this type of content and want to see more of it in the future. Last thing I promise, but I would really like to shout out a YouTuber called Mindspatch. Recently he did an amazing piece of fan art of the channel, which honestly meant the world to me. I've been so busy that by the time I'd made the last video, I'd completely forgotten until it was all done to shout out his stuff. Thank you so much, it's honestly incredible, and you all mean the absolute world to me. His Twitter, no, X and YouTube will be linked in the pinned comment. The most known and most talked about example of this being the 3 butterflies that exist within Elden Ring: the Smouldering, the Aeonia, and the Nascent butterflies. These represent the 3 pureblood children of Marika. You have Melania, the Aeonia butterfly, where it actually specifically says the Aeonia butterflies are the left behind butterflies that once inhabited the wings of Melania's true form. Then we go on to the Nascent butterfly, which is directly stating Miquella, where it talks about how these butterflies seem to have just escaped their cocoon, possibly predicting an omen to come in the DLC. And although it's a bit up in the air whether Miquella is actually going to be a big part of the DLC or in it at all, I think it's almost 100% sure that this is talking about Miquella. And I'm not alone in this, there is a lot of other people that also believe this. And finally, the Smouldering butterfly. You might be thinking, we've talked about Miquella and Melania, who else could there be? And that'd be a great question. And to that I'd answer, the Gloamite Queen, or Melina. It is a very common theory that Melina is the Gloamite Queen, and we do know the Gloamite Queen is a child of Marika, more specifically, from what we know, a pureblood child, as she's stated to be an Emperyan. If you need more explanation on why the Gloamite Queen is Melina, I do have a video on that, and I will leave it at the end of the video, so stay tuned. Going on to other aspects of the symbolism behind the wildlife and greenery that exists around the lands between, we must talk about certain plants that align with certain factions. One of the great examples being the blood roses. The blood roses are intrinsically linked with the Mohgwyn dynasty. Wherever there are blood roses, sanguine nobles and followers of Mohgwyn's dynasty are sure to follow. And although they are most common in the Mohgwyn dynasty, moulding and melding themselves into the ecosystem that lies around Mohgwyn's dynasty, soaked in blood, it isn't the only place that we see them. We see them all over the lands between, and this is because we are directly told that blood roses are in fact conjured and created when drowned in blood. These inquiries and this discussion leads to even further questions, as which is the case with most of FromSoftware's secrets. One of those secrets being, there seems to be real power in blood. I mean, we had hints of this in, say, Emperyans. You cannot become an Emperyan, to our knowledge and the evidence given, if you are not a full-blooded god. Demigods can become powerful, yes, but Emperyans, ones born fully of one god, or perhaps even 2 gods, we really cannot know, due to the fact that Marika and Radhn are the same person, and they somehow did this mindfuckery where they then produced Miquella, Melania and Melina. We really don't know how that happened, and although that would be quite helpful, I personally don't really want to know. Going back onto the roses, we know about them obviously now, but something really intrigues me. In the item description, it talks about how the blood roses come about when blood is drowned into the roses. But if that was the case, wouldn't they be absolutely everywhere? Like, wouldn't they be in places that aren't associated with the Sanguine nobles and Mohg and the Mohgwyn dynasty? Like the Albinauric village where everyone was literally slaughtered to the last person. I know that Albinauric's blood is different, but it's the same sort of concept. But no, they aren't. They're only where Mohgwyn's dynasty is concerned. But all these little red threads slot together perfectly when you consider the fact that perhaps it isn't just any ordinary blood that causes these blood roses to occur, but those who are aligned with the Mohgwyn dynasty and the Formless Mother, when they shed blood, this blood transfers into blood roses. This reminds me heavily of something that, for example, cats do, territorial pissing. They mark their territory by pissing wherever they desire. This leaves a certain sense that other animals can sense and be like, oh shit, this is someone else's territory. This is the same for a lot of other animals. And I believe it's probably the same for the Outer Gods. This is further proven by the Golden Order. Look at the Erd Tree, look at the Atlas Plateau, look at the sky, look at everything, and you'll see this golden hue, which is so synonymous with the Greater Will, is scattered everywhere. This is their territory, and you can see it through the golden vines, which very much mirror the blood roses. How these occur, perhaps the Golden Order sheds blood, and these occur as in one of the most prominent places that these are growing. It appears to the naked eye that it is the setting for an unknown slaughter. Now what's curious about this is a Sanguine noble, an enemy that is aligned with the Mohgwyn dynasty, does in fact manifest itself out of the ground. Now if these golden vines do in fact share the same properties as the blood roses, that means blood has been spilt. We see a lot of Sanguine nobles around the Atlas Plateau. I assume that this is the meaning of Mohg when he says, go my followers, go spread the word of our dynasty. They've come to the Atlas Plateau to spread their word. And a lot of battles must have been fought. Perhaps this Sanguine noble is a last survivor, for we find a few blood roses lying within this same cocoon that this Sanguine noble now lies in. It really makes you wonder what happened here. Perhaps some kind of conflict that resulted in a lot of Sanguine noble deaths, but also quite a few Golden Order deaths as well. It's all up in the air and we don't actually fully know. All we can do is speculate. And speculate we will, because FromSoftware's lore is so thorough, so detailed, that there is so much to be gathered, so much to be understood, and so much to enjoy over. You could literally just stare at the most obscure thing and find meaning in them. For example, the goats/sheeps inside of Limgrave and around the lands between. They have relations in the Atlas Plateau, only these relations have evolved into something more. The way that they've evolved more is because all the lightning that strikes down on the areas where they live have evolved them, becoming lightning itself. You see, the most obscure things have meaning, and that is the beauty of FromSoftware's lore, and it's what motivates me to keep making these videos. It doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, it doesn't have to be next week, but at some point I implore you to go out into the world and find meaning in these obscure details that truly do exist and are just waiting to be uncovered. Going back onto Caelid, you can quite clearly see that it is taken over and the territory now of the Scarlet Rot. After again all the massive deaths, the whole region was consumed by the Scarlet Rot and resulted in what we see today. It is again showing us the Outer Gods' control and the significance of the flowers, the greenery, the rock formations. From all this we get such a deeper and more rich understanding of the world. Every single piece of greenery every single piece of excrement, every single mushroom, every single piece of decaying flesh. Everything has a story and a meaning, and I hope you have seen these examples and seen this new side of Elden Ring in today's video. Everything has an alliance, whether it's sentient, sapient, or none of the above. Sadly everyone, that is the end of the video. Going back to the topic at the beginning of the video, did you enjoy the video? If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel, as I talked about at the beginning of the video. If you didn't, let me know some constructive criticism. Don't be a dick, just let me know and I will try my best to improve for the next one. I really do hope you all are having a great day and continue to have a good day for the rest of the day. Hell, the next week. Anyways, I won't hold your ears any longer. I really do hope I see you in the next one, and may you find your worth in the waking world. Goodbye everyone.